So in this section, I'm going to show you some more practical elements that I think will really help you when you're using Canva. So Canva is a great program. I really love it. And I think that there are lots of things and elements on Canva which will really help save you time and also help with keeping that consistency that I've been going on about all throughout this masterclass, okay? So I'm going to share my screen with you and I'm going to talk you through a few different things. So we're going to head over to Canva and we're on the home screen here. Now, if you look on the left-hand side, there's a section here called Brand Kit. So I'm going to click on Brand Kit. Now, you'll notice that there are lots and lots of different elements already uploaded into my brand kit because I work with so many clients, etc. But I'm going to show you how to do a couple of different things. Now, one thing I must mention at this point is the brand kit comes as part of the Pro package. So that's the paid for version of Canva. I would actually really recommend the paid for version of Canva. I think it's around about £10 a month. And I think that you will definitely get your money's worth because there's just so many things that you can do there. And once you start to get into it and use it, it will become something that you really take for granted. So I would definitely recommend it. When you first sign up for a free account on Canva, they will actually give you a 30-day trial, a 30-day free trial to the Pro account. So you can give it a go and see what you think about it. But yeah, the information that I'm going to share with you is relevant for those Pro account users. So first of all, I am going to create a new color palette. So I'm going to scroll all the way down here because there's lots of color palettes here. And I'm going to go to Add and Discover Color Palette. I'm going to add a custom palette. And you'll see there at the bottom it says Untitled Palette. So I'm going to go and click on that and I'm going to call this Branding Mastermind. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back up to the color picker tool and we're going to copy these codes. So I'm just going to copy that and I'm going to click on plus sign down where the new color palette has been created and I'm going to overwrite this information with the new code and you'll see that the green pops up straight away. So I'm going to click on that, press enter, and I'm going to click another one and I'm going to go back up and do the same thing for the orange and for the yellow colorways. Copy that. And then finally put in that yellow. Okay, I'm also going to show you how to put in a couple of other colours. So if you remember in this colour palette, I had some like pastel oranges and pastel yellows and things like that. So I'm going to go to just take this down the slider and I'm going to take this over and just pick a colour and that's going to head in there. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make this a yellow colour. Oops. To do the new colour, I'm going to go in and do the same for the yellow colour. And then I'm also going to add in, I'm going to go right to the bottom left hand corner, add black. And finally, I'm going to go right up to the top left hand corner and choose white. So that is how you create your color palettes. And it's a really, really useful thing because they're all stored there and you can dive into them and access them really easily when you're playing about with templates or changing the color of text or anything like that, the color of the logos, etc. So this area up at the top, this is your brand fonts. So when we were talking about the heading fonts, the subheading fonts and the body text fonts, you can go in here and you can edit these. So you can create these to be whatever it is that you want it to be. So I'm just going to change that to something. And you can just go in and it doesn't really matter which one you choose, just pick the ones that you want for your specific brand. And what will happen is when you go to create something, let's show you. Let's create something really quickly. So let's say I wanted to type some text. When I add a heading, it's automatically in the font that I chose. When I add a subheading, again, it's automatically in that font, and the same thing with the body text. So you can play about with this and it works really well. Let's also go over to elements. So let's say that I was looking to create something with a circular background to it. I'm going to go over to this color. And if I scroll all the way down, you'll see there is the color palette that I just created. So I'm going to click the green. I'll just make this a bit smaller. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to make an orange one, duplicate it, make a yellow one, and so on. So you see, the way that you can easily change this. You can also go into your text color options, and when you started to use colors, it remembers them and it gives you the colors in your document here. But if we hadn't started to use the colors yet, we can scroll down and go to that Brand Mastermind color palette and use those. I'm going to change that text, that text, that text. So it's a really, really easy way of doing it. So you store all of this information in here and it remembers it for you. And then the other thing that you can do is here on the left hand side where it says brand logos, you can add in your brand logo. So I'm actually going to use one of my clients' logos that I've got to hand. And you can easily add these into your work. So if you go into uploads, you will find that there's lots of media uploaded into this and you can readily access this. So you can also upload your logos and any other kind of media here. So I'm going to select a logo and a submark, and you'll see they're coming up here in the images area. And then what we can do is we can quickly click on those and it will just automatically drop those into the document that we're working on. You can resize those. Oops. Obviously, we're not really creating anything too inspirational here, but you get the idea. So you can see all of your uploads and you can keep all of your media all in one place. So it's really easy to drag those into your documents. So really we have our logos in place, we've got our heading, subheading and body text fonts loaded in, and we've also got our color palette loaded in. So this should really help with keeping things consistent. So every time we go to use this, we're going to use a similar type of font and a similar type of color, etc. So let's say, for example, we wanted to create something. So I'm just going to quickly type in Instagram and give that a search, and it will bring up all of the different templates for Instagram. So let's say, for example, we wanted to use this. So I'm going to add this as a new page just so it doesn't. So again, we could do various things with this. So we can, in the background colorway, we can change that to be a certain color. So we might want that to be the peach color. We could change these speech marks to be the orange color. We could change this to be the orange color. And we might keep all of these texts, etc., in a similar color because it's black and it stands out. But then we might go in and use our specific types of fonts. So I'm just going to put in something a little bit different here. So we might change these up to be what we want them to be. And then we might also, in our uploads, this isn't the correct color for this, so I'm going to actually put in that about a bit. I'm going to put this in the corner. So we can create something like that, and it means that it's in the correct colors, it's maybe in the correct fonts, etc., and it's got our logo at the bottom. So hopefully this explains how to kind of make things a little bit more consistent, and how loading all of this information and keeping this, you know, a record and keeping this branding document of yours up to date with things like your colors and your fonts and your logos, etc. This will really help create that consistency that is so important with being recognizable and being memorable to your clients.